Hello everybody and welcome to Jesh's Commander deck review. Today we are looking at a Magar deck that is trying to play nice. And that is probably my biggest issue with it. I'm skipping ahead of myself a little bit, but we're going to talk about this deck's PP, its premise and its practicum. Its premise is the idea behind the deck. It's what we hope it does. The practicum is what it actually does and what we need to fix. So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about Jesh's idea and whether or not it'll work at the bracket they want it to work at. And then we'll talk about what they have picked, what they could pick better. So importantly, we are tying ourselves to a Radiator in a couple different ways. We are avoiding one-sided board wipes. I agree with that. We are avoiding extra combat spells. I agree with that because that will go infinite. But you've also said we are having most of our removal on permanence, presumably to avoid just going, hey, murder, 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 murder. And now we have a hard time interacting. We're also running a lot of ramp because we are not casting Magar as a 3-mana commander. We are casting Magar as a 6-mana commander so that we can cast and activate him in the same turn cycle. I think this is a mistake. The parts of this that I do enjoy are it makes having all your big Haymaker spells be really expensive pretty good, because now, hey, Magar gets removed on site every single time. Well, I've simply played enough Mirrors and Signets that I can cast Breach the Multiverse anyway. I think that is a definite benefit, but I do think this ramp plan is making your deck very rigid. And for most of the things you want to fix about it, which is, hey, how do I have enough Haymaker spells? How do I make sure I've found the Haymaker spells? How do I make sure I can interact early? All of that is fixed by not having the ramp in the deck. Because the unfortunate part is you can't use a ton of mono black's tricks to keep cards in your hand, right? We don't want to give you Dark Confident and Dark Star Augur because you will fucking explode. We could give you things like Phyrexian Arena. These are bad, but if you're drawing an 8-mana spell or a land to play your 8-mana spell for 1 life, you probably don't mind it as much. But all of these things are slots that we would replace a lot of your ramp for, and we would instead just be like, we are a land drop deck. Our commander is going to let us do things like, replay Night's Whisper to make sure we hit these land drops every single time. But that doesn't make casting Fevered Suspicion any easier and would mandate that we have more removal. So even if you do want to keep your removal on permanence, I think what will have to happen for all of these things to exist in the deck together is you will need to play Magar on turn 3 and hope. You will have to play Magar on turn 3 and be a very brave little boy and just hope and pray that he gets to live. You can also, there's a few cute cards we can play. We can play Rakdos Alesha, because Rakdos Alesha can reanimate your commander. So this could be pretty good. This could be pretty good to toss in as just a one-off. I don't think black is very good in... Well, you do have, we could do shit like this. There's some... If you're really worried about them getting blown up, there's some very, very cute stuff that we can do that will double dip in... okay, I'm going to have board presence, or we'll double dip on, this can technically draw me a card because it cycles. But so long as we are committing... Was this a sixth? A sixth of our deck just to ramping, we're never going to have the flexibility. Holy God, 7 mana. Holy moly. Wobblet, oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh my God, duplicate. Okay. That's real weird. You said removal on permanence. I was like, yeah, Ravenous Chupacabra. We have Ravenous Chupacabra's broke brother. I think what could be upgraded here, and this is going to kind of be hard with the play pattern you want, and is why I talked about you wanting to make this deck fun for everybody, is probably what's holding it back, would be changing these to Accursed Marauder type cards. right? Where we can hold down everybody at once instead of just holding down one person. And if it's like, oh, that's too mean, then we're probably not in the right headspace to play a Rakdos Temporal Extortion deck. Like, no matter what we put in. What else could we do? Okay, here's a way that works with what you already want to do. Play something instead of Duplicant. Play Balefire Dragon. Right? Duplicant gets rid of one thing. Balefire Dragon gets rid of everything on the board of whoever is being meanest to you. See if there's any notes I'm missing. Now this still won't save you too much, and we could do things like, even, you're not going to ramp to Archon of Cruelty quickly enough, though. At that point, we need to be playing like an actual Reanimator deck. The core sickness is we have stared too long and too deep at our ramp section, and we have turned this too much into a Rakdos big mana deck. I think you are, we're sleeping on the usefulness of turning Night's Whisper into a 3/3. I think we are doing, like, because it's fun and flashy to do the really expensive spells, we are overlooking how good this deck can be if you're just like casting card draw, if you are just casting, right, like casting murder. Like, it feels bad to, hey, I'm going to one-sided board wipe you over and over and over again, but like, I'm hitting you with an ungloved 3/3 in Rakdos. Like, yeah, I get to kill a creature, bro. That's kind of what happens. So I think if you want to fix the problems you're seeing, I would either cut the ramp entirely and become a more like true to form Magar deck where you have just way more instants and sorceries you are willing to cast, and that will also help with the politicking of keeping Magar around when you're like, guys, I'm going to be reanimating Night's Whisper. Can we chill the fuck out for one moment? Or if you want to stay committed to the big mana deck, I would not be as committed as you are to Pips, and I would just accept that you're a big mana deck where maybe Magar comes in at the end to reuse things like Sorin's Vengeance, and I would be laddering into things like Thrawn Dynamo, things like Worn Power Stone. I don't think I would play the Eternity Elevator in this deck, although I definitely would consider it. But I would have some more big chunky things so that I could get to my big chunguses quickly enough to matter, right? So that I could ramp to Noxious Gearhulk early enough, ramp to Meteor Golem early enough, ramp to Masker Worm early enough. Versus trying to live in the middle. I think we're always going to kind of be like one turn too late. Yeah, oh, this hand hurts, and is a perfect example, right? This is a 3-mana sorcery we should love to have in this deck. We can land drop into Magar. The other two things in our hand are creatures that don't work with Magar, but are in here because we are disguising ourselves as a big mana deck. So I do land pass, land, Magar, and I try to tell people, chill the fuck out. I don't even have anything in my graveyard. I don't know why Pyrohemia is on here. Heal the show. I dump 6. Draw 6. And now, like, anybody looking at our graveyard is mostly confused. I get to this turn, and now I have, right, I have the big over-the-top thing. That's really fun. This is going to take an extra turn to go. I can ramp, I can play Aetherflux Reservoir, but I'm not going to be storming off because so many of my spells are just massive, massive fucking chunguses. So I get the mirror down. I can tap correctly to cast all these things, so just pretend that oh no, I can't, because this doesn't tap instantaneously. I play this guy instead of the mirror. Next turn, And now I'll wheel again, and now I'll finally have something that I'm like really, really happy about getting rid of. I mean, I could have set up like Steal the Show under this, I guess, but I had a different wheel thing in hand that could deal damage, so I wanted to do that instead. But it's turn 6, and we haven't been able to interact in a real way, because so much of our interaction is just on Big Chungus Go. No lands, that's a shame. Or 1 land. Alright. We don't fix red here, which is very tough. Okay, here, 2 lands, Ripples of Undeath, about as good as it can get. Undeath. 1, 2, 3. I want that Dolmen Gate back, thank you. Alright, next turn. 1, 2, 3. You can keep all of those. I will suspend this. I'm playing Magar for sure. 1, 2, 3. I want those boots, brother man. Hit my land drop. Aligned Hedron Network. Fuck the green player. Next turn. 1, 2, 3. I probably shouldn't have aligned Hedron Network. I would have... What? We go get Soren's Vengeance. So that doesn't happen. But now we have a Soren's Vengeance that can swing. And our hand is just full of wildly expensive. And a wheel. I think... Okay. Yeah, I really, really think what you should commit to is the middle of this deck should not be wheels and ramp. The middle of this deck should be reasonably costed, effective spells. Like, the reason I shit on Night's Whisper so much, like I know the reason you're excluding it from the deck is not my personal opinion, but like I've shit on Night's Whisper a lot. The reason I shit on Night's Whisper a lot is because I don't think turning 1 card into 2 cards is good enough for Commander anymore generally, unless it's a free spell, basically. Very similar to why I shit on Opt and Consider. Like, if you're not storming off, going, this 1 card is 2 cards, won't actually do it, because every draw engine is so pushed and crazy. But what will do it is if this 1 card is like fucking 6 cards, because we're swinging it as a 3-3 every goddamn turn, and we do something, to the 3-3 that's going to modify its power toughness, that's going to make it harder to block, etc., etc., etc. Like, we could, like this would be such an amazing fucking synergy piece. But we don't have it because we have Charcoal Diamond. So we could be playing the Night's Whispers of the world. We could be playing the Resentful Revelations of the world. We could be playing way more interaction, and we could try to be playing like the long game. And then we're just going to crush you under the weight of our spells. And then these are going to be the big finishers, which it even seems like you have pulled a lot of your punches here. Like, none of these win you the game. None of these win you the game because you're doing nothing to set up your opponent's graveyards, right? Where we feel bad about removing people. Hit the mother load, like, Discover 10, the biggest odd is that we hit a 2-mana ramp piece. Fevered Suspicion is super fun, but we don't know how good it's going to be. Breach the Multiverse is probably your best individual card in here. And I like this one, but by itself, it's not enough. So I do think with the attitude that I'm feeling from this deck, I think you would be better off not trying to wheel into these big hits. I think you would be better off just playing a lot of mid-tier value spells and beating people to death with mid-tier value spells and being like, oh yeah, you can like remove my commander if you want, but I'm still going to have plenty of game actions. I'm still going to interact with you. It's not it's not going to stop me from doing stuff. Whereas right now, we're doing this like, he's 6 mana on layaway because we get stopped from doing stuff, because everything we do is just like Clifford the Massive Ballbuster, but also he's a worm. And if we really want to be doing big mana, we can do big mana. I just don't think it straddles... It doesn't straddle Magar very well. Like, our hands are too clogged up. Like, this hand has, like, stuff for every different version of the deck, right? We have, like, somewhat appropriately costed removal on a body. We have pretty expensive wheel. We have really expensive removal on a body. We have big over-the-top Magar card that we actually want. And I just think there's too much infighting going on. And so what do we like? Let me look at what we like the most. If we want to be going into big haymaker spells, I would just be casting more medium spells. I think that will make the mid game much more reasonable, given how distasteful you seem to find bullying people. That is a reasonable thing to find distasteful, but most Magar decks are built around really, really aggressively bullying people. The mana value less than or equal to 4, mana value greater than or equal to 2, type instant. I don't know how to do instant or sorcery. There's Knight's Whisper. If you really want to keep the expensive stuff, you could do Victimize, although I don't think you should with like the deck as a whole. You could do like Dread Return if you want to do this, a little bit of this Reanimator plan. But like Seize the Spoils, this would be so good. This would be so good. Seize the Spoils, Unexpected Windfall. Even Cathartic Reunion would work good for you. So I think it's like you leaned a little bit too far into go big or go home for what your commander wants to do. There are go big or go home Rakdos commanders where all you want to do is make all the mana in the world and then spend all the mana in the world. But Magar is a little bit more finicky than that. And the best thing Magar gets to do is not actually play all these crazy spells. It's get to just like drown you in all of these pretty decent spells. Like Seize the Spotlight's bad. Fuck that. We do not want to be... Oh, but like Glimpse the Impossible is great. It's great. You get access to 3 more cards. If we can't cast them, doesn't matter. Now it's going to ramp me. Like this is the type of thing I would be accepting as a ramp for you. Oh, Circle of Power would be so fucking heat. Imagine I'm circling on you. I'm circling all over you. And you know, maybe you keep a little bit of ramp to support this, depending on how many like 3 mana things you take versus 4 mana things versus 2 mana things. But I think we've really like criminally overlooked how many just like normal 2 to 4 mana cards we should be playing. And I think we've overvalued wheels and like wildly expensive things and ramp. We could make Romantic Rendezvous good. Ah! You could play Ancient Craving. Ah! Embrace the Unknown's not good at all, though. That's rough. So I think ones like Resentful Revelation that are like the O-tags Rummage and Mulch are going to go very far for you. So these are things like Romantic Rendezvous that will let you choose what you discard to then draw. Things like Unexpected Windfall that make you a treasure are also going to do good, because then maybe you can cast the big Haymaker. But that will mean that if like the big Haymaker plan gets shut down, it's okay. You're going to have things you can cast in the mid game rather than just building up to this big payoff that may never come. And you gotta play some removal spells. Don't play the one-sided board wipes over and over and over again, but it's like, it's okay to play Fel. Like, Ink Eyes exists. Not Ink Eyes, hold on. Throat Slitter exists. Throat Slitter exists, and it is not a problem. And you are spending the same amount of mana as Throat Slitter to do Fel once and then pay 3 mana to turn it into a 3/3. So let yourself have some normal removal on instants and sorceries. Let yourself have mid mana value card draw, card selection, and move away from everything has to be 10 billion. And then I think you enjoy the ride a lot more. And then maybe you become willing to pump up how powerful some of these big ones are. So if anybody in the comments has any other recommendations, please let me know. Otherwise, I wish you the very best, and I do hope this helps.